Hi, this is PR Sundar. Welcome to Pre-Market Report sponsored by Delta.Exchange. After a long struggle, the camera setup is ready, and you can also see some Delta Exchange, also a small magnet. The Delta Exchange have been my sponsor for a very, very long time. For a long time, I did not use their logo in a laptop. Now, coming back to the market, yesterday our market has fallen, and day before yesterday, that means the previous trading day, in just two trading sessions, Nifty has fallen about 5% and Nifty has fallen about 2%. And in the last few trading sessions, Bank Nifty has fallen about 4%. So, while the entire global markets, even yesterday, the US market hit a fresh all-time high. Yesterday, for the first time, S&P 500 closed above 6,500. So that's for the first time. So it's an all-time high. So clearly, so this time, we have nothing to do with the global cues. So we have a lot of local issues. And I've been giving my opinion for a very, very long time that this time the central government's foreign policies have not been fruitful, I can say. There's a problem with almost every country. In a Sindhur operation, none of the countries in the world supported us. So the same thing now is going on, big problem with US. And this US guy, Trump, is such an irrational guy, and he will go to any extent to achieve his goal. So even, the countries like Britain, Germany, France, Japan, or even China, so they don't go aggressively against US. So they go very soft. They try to negotiate a good deal. But what is happening in India? So because India has got the taste of cheaper crude oil from Russia, but I do not know how much cheaper. Number one, let me tell you, the crude oil that we buy from Russia is of a inferior quality, less quality compared to the crude oil from the Gulf. Second, so therefore the processing, it will cost more. And number two, the transportation. So transporting crude oil from Gulf countries is much easier compared to the crude oil importing from Russia, transporting from Russia. So despite this, probably Russia may be giving more discount, but the problem is that this additional tariff of 25%, and then the money that you are saving because of the cheaper crude from Russia, you compare, that definitely we will be loser. The 25% extra duty will be more than the money that we are saving from the discount from Russia. That's number one. Number two, now assume that, even if it is slightly less, but this Trump tariff, number one, it's going to affect us globally. And globally, most of the countries dare not to go against US. So globally, our foreign policies will come into a question. Number one. Number two, the broader markets. I've been telling you, it is the Nifty 50. The impact of US tariff is very, very low, because if you look at all the sectors in Nifty 50, it's only pharmaceutical and IT industries. They do business with US, and IT, as of now, it may not come under the tariff, because, the tariff that US is talking only about the products, not for the services. But if this problem continues, who knows? They may do it for services also. And second sector is a pharmaceutical industry. As of now in US, there is no tariff for pharmaceutical industries, because they were talking about a separate tariff for pharmas. Right. Otherwise, it's mostly mid and small range MSMEs, which are mostly exporting to US. So those will be affected very much. But whereas who will gain because of the cheaper crude oil? The cheaper crude oil, the benefit has not been passed on to the customers, right? So you can compare how many times, the import duty has been increased for crude oil. And in fact, I have a good story to tell, but I will keep that story for another video, but it's a very long video. So it makes sense, to stop buying crude oil from Russia. So when I say this, the people say I'm anti-national, this and that. So like there is no such thing, right? So at the end of the day, you have to see where you are going to benefit, where the country is going to benefit, right? And I can tell you how crazy this fellow Trump, tomorrow I can tell you the unimaginable things that he can do it. And he can do it. There's no doubt about it. He might tell, all the FIAs who are investing from US, in Indian markets, he might say, no, you stop investing in India, either you liquidate all your holdings in India, otherwise I will put 50% capital gain tax for the money that you are making in India. Then what will happen? I will not be surprised if Nifty goes for a lower circuit when this guy announces something like this. And then what he can do, even then India is not budging, and he might say, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all these companies should stop servicing the Indian customers. And if you don't listen to me, you continue to offer services to India, then for your entire operation, I will put 50% extra tariff or, tax. Right? Then you can imagine, so I'm not saying that, a person is rich, poor, powerful. So therefore, I'm not saying that we should kneel down at their feet. But at the same time, something has to be worked out. Some compromise has to be reached, right? So there was a report that said, that Trump called our prime minister 4 times and our prime minister did not pick up the call. So these things, does not go well with India, right? So at least you can pick up the call and ask him what he wants, explain your side. So this is our position. So then, the people in US, they are accusing India, right? India buying cheaper crude oil from Russia, that's benefiting only few people. So this is the direct accusation. The India is being accused, and there is no answer. And because you buy a crude oil at a very, very cheap price, but the prices in India is one of the highest in the world. So in Malaysia, the petrol price 40 rupees. In Dubai, petrol price 60 rupees. In China, petrol price 70 rupees. And here we are 100 rupees. So what kind of money that the government of India is making? The government of India can say some of the money is going to states, but I'm asking this question to the states also. So at the end of the day, no, the consumer worry about what is the price that he's paying. He doesn't bother how much money going to central government, how much money is going to state government, right? So our market is clearly in trouble. So until some compromise is reached. And you can imagine few months before, there was a fight between India and Pakistan. The markets fell, right? And the market fall was very bad. But what happened? Suddenly one day, there was announcement of ceasefire. And the next day, the Nifty gap up nearly 2% and shot up nearly 4%. So, although there is a problem between India and US, although markets are falling, at some point of time, if there is any compromise, if any announcement regarding that, okay, so let us say suddenly India announces, okay, we will stop buying crude oil from Russia. That's it. Nifty can shoot up 2 to 4% very, very easily. But anyway, this time I'm little bit skeptical. Even the Prime Minister's announcement regarding the GST reduction. And So what we read from the media, the proposal 28% will be coming to 18%, 12% will be coming to 5%, this will directly reduce the prices of the products by 7 to 10% for most of the products, not for all the products, for most of the products. So that is such a big positive news for the economy. When such a big positive news for the economy, but Nifty did not shoot up. Nifty shot up just only 1%. That 1% is also got wiped out yesterday. So technically speaking, that gap up that happened last to last Monday, because of this GST rejig, so that gap has been filled. Okay, and then Nifty closed around 24,500, and that's a very, very important support level. And since May 12, so that support level was broken only once on a closing basis. Intraday basis 4 or 5 times broke, but closing basis it was broken only once. And let us hope today also Nifty does not break 24,500 on a closing basis. Definitely intraday basis it can break. That's not a big deal. But on a closing basis, let us hope that it doesn't break. So failing which, the next support is only at 24,000. So 24,000 is the level at the peak of the India-Pakistan war. Right? So even that is also broken, then surely even in the long term, India is in trouble. So with the Bihar election looming, with BJP government cannot afford to lose Bihar election, and that's because it is because of support from Nitish and Chandrababu Naidu. So this government is surviving, so they cannot afford to lose Bihar elections, and already there is a propaganda going very much against BJP. So therefore, I don't think BJP government will be ready to take some risk. So if not today or tomorrow, at least within next few weeks, they will work out some compromise with US. So they will like to, make sure that the market do not fall much from here. There are some people who argue, the people who are voting in Bihar, they have nothing to do with the stock market, but that's a different story, right? They may not do something for the purpose of stock market, but the really affected people, MSMEs and other things. So that's going to reflect in the economy. So I still strongly believe the BJP government will do something, just like what they've done in 2019. In one stroke, they reduced the corporate tax. So now also they've announced that, they will be reducing the GST. But even if this is not working out, either they will compromise with the US or they will announce more measures, something like, reduction in STT or reduction in long-term capital gain tax and this and that. So they can do it. So markets are going to be very, very volatile. September is usually a volatile month. You may remember the Lehman Brothers collapse. I think it came in September only. So traditionally, this is not a good month for global markets, but usually for our market, it used to be good because, ahead of the Deepavali, most people will buy new clothes and new cars, new bikes, so that can potentially stimulate the economy. So let us see. So it's going to be very, very volatile. So, but for today, keep yesterday's high surely is as a resistance, and support will be only at the recent low of 24,335. So that was the last 2 weeks low. So that should be the support. So maybe for the next month or next week, so what will be the levels we will discuss during the Dalal Street Week Ahead program. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching.